Let AJ Doman Chevrolet be your one stop for all your business needs in 2025. Whether it's a service body, a flatbed, or a chassis for a custom upfit, we got you covered. And we know time's important, so we have a large selection of work-ready trucks on hand. AJ Doman Chevrolet, serviced in the area for over 35 years at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick. AJ Doman Chevrolet, your business elite dealer.
All right, we're back. Joining us now, Councilman Brien. Pleasure. And good to have you, Councilman. Good to see you.
Hey, good to be here, Morton.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes during these events, HTV becomes like an air traffic controller. We just take the information, move it. And I'm just letting people in the public know, where Mike Sobert gave you a pretty good rundown of Terrebonne Parish, but we're looking for somebody to give us information on Lafourche because they have problems with water pressure. So I know we tried to get a couple of people on. We're going to voicemail. So if anybody's watching in Lafourche, please give us a call so we can explain to the people about your water pressure in Lafourche Parish. And thank you for doing that. So how's it going for you? What are you seeing out there and what's on your mind and what are the learning points of this and what are the things we excel at and what are the things we need to get better at?
Well, it's a lot of things that we need to focus on, but also there's some great points too as well. Most importantly, we have to really the parish as a whole, anytime the state, I feel, all right, and in this commentary or in my conversation here with you, Martin, I want to put this disclaimer out there. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 100% honest because oftentimes in life we want the truth, but nobody wants to be honest. I'm going to be honest about it. Okay, I'm going to bring my experiences that I've had in life and things like that forward. But most importantly, it's all about incident command systems. It's all about being able to manage a incident. Parish president, he declared a state of emergency. The state declared a state of emergency. At that point, I feel that our EEOC should have been open, right? And the reason for that is every entity within EEOC, plus partners that we bring in, such as yourself as the local media, would get that information out there because from what I'm hearing and seeing and also concerned about, it's the communication as a whole. Everybody has some sort of communication issue or something they ran into where they couldn't get answers to. Naturally, EEOC is designed for that. And myself personally, I've had IS 700 training, and that's on the national level by way of the United States Navy. Now, in recent years, I've had IS 400 refresher training, which is just, on the parish level. Let's use that example for IS 400. But all the different agencies, we have a major water issue right now. That's probably our biggest thing that we're dealing with outside of the ice on the road still, de-icing of the roads and getting some of the snow where the roads are passable. But at the same time, the water issue, the road issue, any issue we have, it would be focused in that central location of EEOC. There should never be an instance where emergency response or emergency declaration is declared and EEOC is not open.
And let me say this from a media standpoint. We've been doing this for 40 years. And, you just walk through the door, come up here, sit down, and talk. We've always had an open door policy. I think where it would be best, because during storm events in Ida, we registered over 600,000 views during Ida. This event, I think it's well over 300,000 and climbing. So it'd be nice if we could tie in with the EOC. I know there's been plenty of conversation, but it's just never took place. Because I agree, the minute something happens, we should have a seat at the table for the people, and I just don't know where that breakdown occurs.
Well, and that's just me making that comment, just mentioning that. That's a part of my IS 700 training on the national level. The media is a part of it because that's a key way of communicating to the masses, right? Of course, now we have social media, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these different social media platforms. But here in South Louisiana, HTV, it's a staple. HTV, I can guarantee you, Martin, I guarantee you, I'll make a friendly wager with you. I'll buy you dinner. Any Bayou you go on, you ask 50 people about Martin Falls and HTV, and they'll be able to say, yes, I know who that is. They might not know you personally, but they'll know because they've watched HTV. I have family members. If they can't turn on their TV, I was sharing with one of my colleagues just yesterday, and he said that his mother has a smart TV. And if she turns it on and she can't get HTV or what she needs, she's throwing the remote. She loses it. But at the same time, going back to what I was making the point on, that IS 700 training, it has a place in there for the media. And you are the media here locally, and you reach the masses. I learned something just this morning with another way of communicating. I never even thought of it, my home security system, where I have a Ring camera set up. And that camera, naturally, it's for, letting you know if intruders or what's going on around your property. Well, it went off this morning, and I just by chance looked at it. I know nothing was there because I was sitting in the living room, and they had a message came across: which stores are open in Houma? Anyone in Terrebonne Parish with a Ring camera, they're on this specific network. That's another way of communication. That's another tool that we can use. And listen, this is not to point fingers or anything like that. The thing is, we get the right people at the table when we're having all these meetings, and then we can do better as a parish.
Yeah, I thought we've had some good communication with certain people, and it's broken down. And I'm not going to sit here and name the ones where I think it's broken down, but I think the sheriff's been tremendous. Hey, Robbie Lee's been calling us and trying to get people, but you can only ask, to get in. I know we have people out of town trying to get all that in place. And law enforcement's been great. State police has been great. Council's been great. Y'all been in and out of here,
Yes.
many, many times. But I think it's always the difference between us. We're on Facebook and YouTube. So everybody's watching you right now, either on HTV, the app, which all the smart TVs have now. We got calls from California, checking on loved ones, all kind of things. YouTube, Facebook. We don't edit what you say.
Correct.
You get to come on and tell your story. It's not just a little blurb and then, we don't go on and say, all the pipes are broken here. We let Mike Sobek come on and explain why the pipes are broken. We let Kim Chauvin come on and ask why her people aren't getting water. So I think that's the beauty of it, just to have people come on and speak their mind. And we'll continue to do that. But once again, I think for us not to be tied into EOC or a part of bringing a hourly or daily news conference is quite frankly ridiculous,
I agree. You bring so much value for us as a parish. You bring so much value, not only us as a parish. I'm glad that you live in Terrebonne Parish because that gives us just a little bit more love from you, right? But we also, our neighboring parishes, Lafourche Parish, Assumption Parish, all these different parishes, you help us out. And being a part of EEOC it just makes sense.
Yeah, we had drones in Napoleonville. We had drones in Thibodaux. Yesterday, we had drones in Donaldsonville. We had drones in Terrebonne Parish. So we were hitting from all different angles, but we were using, the sheriff even said, I got drone footage, you want ours? Absolutely. I had Chase Toops said, hey, you want to use my drone footage? Bring it on. Yes. So in these situations, the more, the better to get the word out, and the more people that come on and give us information. But in fairness to some people, they feel like they can't come on unless they always have the okay. I think in these situations, man, turn it loose. Let everybody talk. I don't think anybody's out there to embarrass anybody. We just want information.
And I agree with that 100%. I'm going to go back a little bit there to kind of piggyback or touch on you giving our sheriff his just due. And I don't think there's, in words, we can't put it, because And I hope he doesn't feel bad about this, but me knowing the sheriff the way I do, I think he'll be okay. But I shared with him a couple days ago with the Martin Luther King program, which you were there too, Martin. I sat right next to him. And when I was able to talk to him a little bit and all this and normal pleasantries we have, and he's telling me what's happening, what's going on. But I also looked at him, and some people are going to feel this is kind of odd, but I looked at his hands. And I go get my hands manicured and all this other stuff. I looked at our sheriff's hands, and when I tell you, he looks like a guy who had just chopped down trees. You know, his hands are that, you know, rough where he's been working, that type of thing. Now, he's the sheriff, I get it. But at the same time, I know he's a Marine too as well. And it told me right there, that's the guy that I would be shoulder to shoulder with, not afraid of anything.
He was doing blue collar work before that.
Well,
He shared it with me. He was out there getting it done.
he's that guy that I would want to be an incident commander. I watched him on the news too as well. And I heard him say, hey, you know, we got our gas lines are low. This is going on, that's going on. And not only that, he found time to call me back once I sent him a message. And everyone I encountered that said they had spoken with him said that, you know, I talked to the sheriff, he called me back, whatever. So that's just an example of the leadership that we have here in Terrebonne Parish.
I've had 17 conversations with him since it started.
And you haven't had the last, I'm sure.
Right. Oh, no.
You know.
He'll call me at 5:30 in the morning to give me an
He's that
update,
guy.
or late tonight.
Yeah.
You know, and I do appreciate that. And I mean, it's just to try to get the word out. There's a lot of people still without water. They need comfort at this point, I guess is the best way to put it. And it don't matter if you're right or wrong, just go make a decision.
You make it happen. I'll give you another incident of what's going on, like in my district, watching social media and with certain situations, being from, you know, having military background, that type of thing, you don't rest well. You're always worried. You're trying to figure out what's the next move. You know, when you're responsible for a majority or a lot of people, such as the folks in District 1. I saw on a Facebook post, 5:30 in the morning, young lady said that, hey, I need to, my sister or daughter, whomever it was stuck at, you know, the casino at work. She was scared to drive home. I reached out to her. I said, listen, don't worry, we'll get you home. Still dark. I got in my vehicle, I went out there, got her and brought her home. Why? Because that's what we're supposed to do. Am I an expert in driving? No. Do I have experience in snowstorms, blizzards, and things like that? Yes, I do. Lived in Minnesota, lived in Connecticut, probably 14, 15 years between the two, plus the training. For a situation like this to hit Houma, I'm excited for one, but I'm also prepared.
Right.
And that's what our parish is so great to have, folks like the sheriff, myself, and other folks that can actually respond to situations like this. Have someone like you with HTV as well, you know, to be able to respond and get things out there. I heard earlier, we mentioned Mr. Tommy Boudreaux. That guy right there, he's something kind of special.
Yeah.
You know, after the fires here in Terrebonne Parish, that I found out, you know, when Mr. Steve Ponville brought me out there and had me right in the embers, and I'm like, you know, I do a lot of things, but fire, I like to get away from that kind of stuff. But guys like that, it's good that we have here in the parish to make
Tommy's
to make
what I
things
call
happen.
a foxhole guy.
Oh yeah,
You want him in that foxhole.
Oh,
with
yeah,
you.
absolutely. Right next to you, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, he was scraping those bridges yesterday and doing different things. But anything that you see in your district besides maybe water or anything, we can learn from this. This is one of those, you write the notes down right now because we may not experience it again for a long time, but our kids will.
Oh, yeah.
Sooner or later.
Absolutely. We well, the water pressure in my neighborhood throughout my district, I had a few phone calls this morning, folks down upper portion of Bayou DeLarge, you know, with no water, and my water pressure is low too as well. Outside of that, that's probably the biggest issue that we're having currently right now. And I can say this about the waterworks, and that is, we had an incident a couple streets over from me not long ago with water, and I was able to go out there and I saw where The technicians that were working that the pipe burst in or whatever happened to it, they actually have measures in place when something breaks, because as we all know, our infrastructure it's outdated, right? And we don't have all the funds readily available that we can just go and, do a revamp of everything. But when we have these isolated events, such as what we're dealing with now with the pipes bursting and things like that giving away, well, I learned that we are putting new creative, up-to-date measures in place to replace what the old infrastructure that we had.
Mike, somebody just brought that up.
Really?
They said it may cost you $5-10 a month, but if my water main to my house breaks, it'll notify me on the phone and it'll say, do you want to shut off? Yes. Boom. Close. He said, people with camps who live in Baton Rouge, got camps down the bayou, your water main just broke. Shut it off.
That brings up a good point, because my wife just told me last night she got a few texts or something from the waterworks, and she answered. Of course, I didn't pay attention to it, but she did. She just told me last night she was getting alerts, and that's what we need. That's
what you mean you didn't pay attention to your wife?
Well, because listen, I learned, Martin.
I'm picking it.
No, I learned a long time ago.
Yeah.
Been married to her for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I learned I'm like a German Shepherd in our marriage now. I don't speak, I just understand. Whatever she says, I just do it. And I'll fare better like that.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and you're out and about. You sort of go and look around. And
yes, I had an opportunity yesterday to go out. Did some quick videos and things like that for several of the business owners here in Terrebonne Parish. Different parts of the parish on MLK, down in my district, Bayou du Large, on Grand Caillou Road area. The roads are a lot better now than they were, a day or so ago. And with the good thing about it is we have the sun, Mother Nature on our side, right? So we're getting that warm beam of the sun, but also we have to keep in mind we have the warmth of the ground too as well. That's deep down under.
Yeah.
It's not. If it was cold for 2 months, a month or so, well, the ground would be cold as well.
Yeah.
But the ground is warm below the surface, and in the middle you have the ice.
We'll take whatever we could get.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Jay, you were trying to tell me something? There was salt in the road? Okay. All right. So there you go. And we're going to go till 12 noon. Then we're going to go back to some replays of some of these important interviews that we did. Councilman Pledger, I want to thank you for coming on board and thank you for your work, and good seeing you again.
Hey, it's good being here, Martin. I wish it would be. I see you on the good conditions too as well, but this is something that's needed right here for our parish, and I think going forward, it gives us a dress rehearsal for the next event, and we take the takeaways from this event and previous events, and we just try to utilize those takeaways to get better as a parish as a whole, because ultimately we want to be the best parish in the state of Louisiana.
No doubt. Thank you, Councilman. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
All right, Councilman Brien Pledger here in the studio. Like we always say, the door's open. Just come on in, sit on the chair, and we'll give you some airtime and let you say your piece and talk about how we could better things in the whole area. And once again, we're waiting on somebody from Lafourche Parish to give us some update. We got to. After the break, we have somebody. We're going to get them on. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.